Tonight, the state, and I will be joined by the Special Advisor, Communication and Strategy to Kebbi State Governor, Idris. Welcome to Politics Tonight, everyone. I am Abubakar Latunji. Now let's take a look at the timeline of the state of emergency in River State.
President Bola Tinubu declares the state of emergency on March the 18th for 6 months in River State, suspending Governor Fubara, his deputy, and state lawmakers. Vice Admiral Aide, retired, was appointed as the sole administrator of River State. The declaration is to restore order and democracy in the state. On June 26, 2025, Nyesom Wike and Similarly Fubara met with President Bola Tinubu to reach an agreement. Vice Admiral Aide, retired, oversaw several initiatives, including the local government election held on Saturday, August 30th, with APC winning 20 seats. Others include verification exercise, infrastructure rehabilitation, stabilization measures. On September 13, 2025, Vice Admiral Aide announced transition activities, including an interdenominational church service, to mark the end of the state of emergency in the state and to return to a democratic governance. On September 14, 2025, a Thanksgiving service was held, urging political actors to prioritize peace and stability in the state. On September 16, 2025, Vice Admiral Aide declares the fulfillment of President Bola Tinubu's mandate to stabilize the state. A state of emergency has only been declared 5 times in 4th Republic of Nigeria, including the recent declaration in River State. The first was in Plateau State in 2004 by former President Olusegun Obasanjo-led administration. The next was Ekiti State in 2006 by the same former President Olusegun Obasanjo-led administration. Another was declared in Borno, Plateau, and Niger State in 2011 by former President Goodluck Jonathan-led administration. Borno, Yobe, Adamawa State also experienced a state of emergency during the peak of Boko Haram insurgency in 2014. But the big question remains, was the state of emergency a constitutional necessity or a political hatchet job? Did the 6 months under Vice Admiral Aide retired leave River State better or weaken democratic institutions? Emmanuel Ajayi, TVC News, Lagos.
Thank you for staying with us. Tonight we focus on Kebbi State, a state known for its rich agriculture, cultural heritage and strategic border education. But beneath that strength lie growing concerns around security and political stability. As leadership is tested and communities seek safety,
it's a pleasure joining you.
Thank you very much. So let's start with this public clash between your principal, Governor Idris, and former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN. He wrote a petition to the National Security Advisor and the Chief of Defense Staff. And in that petition, he alleged a looming threat to peace and stability. How does the governor respond to this kind of accusation that his administration is secretly arming political actors loyal to the APC?
Thank you very much. The petition written by the former Minister of Justice, Attorney General, was baseless and unfounded. And it is only a camouflage. Camouflage in the sense that for the first time, he is visiting the state. For the first time, he claimed to be generous and sympathetic to pay condolence visits. with that. So what he did was stage managed. That is why I say he camouflaged and wrote the petition. Stage managed in the sense that he brought these talks from the neighboring states to provide escorts to the MS Palace. And in the process, whoever they made, in fact, they started destroying APC billboards, which has the pictures of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the governor, Comrade Nasir Idris, right from the road until they entered the state capital. And from there, when they went to the condolence, they came back, and on the way, they beat held up innocent people moving around, doing their lawful activities, stoning them, vandalizing their properties, including the state headquarters, state secretariat of the All Progressive Congress. So, like I said, he camouflaged. Soon after, he now went and wrote petition. Don't forget I said he brought these armed talks from the neighboring states. And why should he do that? He stage managed in order to get public sympathy. He is not a threat. Malami is not a threat to Governor Nasir's governorship ambition.
But what the former AGF implied is that political violence is now a norm in Kebbi State, and it has now escalated because it left the APC. But can the governor categorically deny that any state funds, vehicles or resources have been used to support armed political thugs in the state?
That is a total blackmail and baseless allegation. Kebbi State has never witnessed political violence since in the inception of this present political dispensation. He is the one that is trying to introduce it. And why is he in haste? Why is he employing tactics? Why is he deploying funds to instigate people to finance vandalism, thuggery, and hooliganism in the state? We've never witnessed that. And let me tell you, all these are being done not to discourage people from supporting the governor of Kebbi State, because the people of Kebbi State, as it is today, they know what Governor Nasir Idris has done to them within the last 2 years. They appreciate, they acknowledge these things, and they are every day appreciating what he has done. So no amount of blackmail, thuggery, hooliganism, vandalism of property will make them change. They have decided, and they have decided.
You have just called it a cheap blackmail, but I saw that the governor had said Abubakar Malami is promoting a terrorism agenda. These are serious allegations, serious accusations. But what specific acts has the governor or the state government observed, which has led him to accuse Mr. Malami of promoting a terrorism agenda under the guise of politics?
Yes, that is very true. He is promoting terrorism in Kebbi State, or rather, he's introducing. Let me tell you, why we said that, we know he is not serious, and he is not being fed, and he is not wanted by the people of Kebbi State. What he's trying to do is to create a situation where all the investors invited by the governor to come and invest will be scared. And already they have started doing that. They are spreading rumors that they are coming. So if not, why should he go to that extent? If it is political blackmail, go ahead and do it. If it is witch hunting, continue doing it. But why do you make such very dangerous allegations? Not against the governor, so to say, but against the people of the state. These allegations has the potentiality of creating backwardness in the development of the state, which the governor is, of course, on doing. You know what I'm saying? So the truth of the matter is he wants to scare investors from the state, because these investors have been invited by the governor of the state to come and join hands with the business community in Kebbi State to further build the state, provide employment opportunities, and create wealth and good living among the state, among the people of the state.
All right, Mr.
That is his target.
Also, is it true that some non-political thugs have been given appointments or contracts by this current administration? Or how does the government vet those it empowers to avoid rewarding violence in Kebbi State?
Never, forever. The governor doesn't give appointment just like that for political reasons. When the governor wants to give you appointment as a part of the government, he consults. If he's bringing him, if he's employing you from your local government or from your emirate area, he will consult the local community on the credibility, sincerity, and honesty of this person he wants to engage in his government. How can a district head, a traditional ruler, a religious leader recommend employment of a political dog into a government of the state he is proud of being? All these ones are mere and cheap allegations which will not hold water.
All right then. But I'm sure you know Kebbi people want peace ahead of elections, and many Nigerians are already wondering, the impact this public clash between these two prominent Kebbi figures would have on governance and peace in the states, and the kind of message this sends to the youth. But because of time, Mr. Idris, let's move away from that. Governor Nasir Idris is a comrade, someone well known in the labor community, and expectations were high that he would deliver in 2 years. And he has boastfully said, "I want to be remembered as a teacher who transformed Kebbi. My achievements will speak for me in 2027. It's been 2 years. What are those achievements?
Thank you very much for this very good question. A lot of achievements, but in summary, he has been able to create an enabling environment for all the politicians. He has been able to carry along, to involve all the politicians. When I mean all the politicians, regardless of political affiliations. In his government, there are people of APC and the PDP. What happened actually, why he did that, when he contested as the governor, you remember very well, the PDP won the presidential election. The PDP won the 3 senatorial seats. The PDP won 4 House of Representatives out of the 8 we have in Kebbi State. And one was wondering, how will the governor of All Progressive Congress, Dr. Nasiru, scale through with the results of the elections held earlier before the governorship election? And as God would have it, and the fact that he is what we call homegrown governor. Homegrown governor means the person that lives with the people, the person that interacted with the people, the person that supported with the people at the time of their needs. And he stayed in the town, in Benin Kebbi or in Kebbi State. Wherever he goes, he will come back immediately, assist those that need assistance, help those that need help. So when he eventually won the election, despite this, despite the results of the earlier elections held, many people are also not surprised. And many people are surprised. Those that don't know him, but the people who came said, knew what they did. They gave who they want to give their leadership. So after the election, just 2 years in office, all the senators of the PDP, all the other House of Representative members of the PDP, about 5 or 2 of them, and all the only 3 House of Assembly members of the PDP, they all moved under to the APC. Why? Because he did not show any difference while treating the politicians in this thing.
Mr. Idris, is that his biggest achievement?
No, that is one of the biggest achievements. To unite all the leaders, to unite all the politicians is a very big achievement. Then secondly, apart from that, he was able to divide his program. He inherited a large number of a number of uncompleted projects. He equally inherited so many valuable infrastructure that are in the state of this area, dilapidated condition. And he has his own program of executing his own program in all sectors of the economy. So what he did, what you say is an achievement, he did not abandon those he inherited. And he did not care to find out why they were not completed. He did not care to find out why those very critical infrastructure were left to roads.
So what are those projects, Mr. Idris?
We have the state secretariat that has been abandoned for close to 10 years. We have senior secondary schools, about 150 of them. We have the construction of veterinary hospital, which has been abandoned at 30% stage of completion, which he came, completed it, and I tell you, without appear of contradiction, that veterinary hospital is one of the best in the southwest of Africa. That is not that. These are some of the achievements in terms of infrastructure. And he constructed new schools. He constructed about 4 or 5 standard mega schools that can contain up to 2,000 people at a time, at a stage.
Let's stay on that. Let's stay on that, Mr. Idris. Let's stay on that because...
Then he had rehabilitated a number of hospitals. And he's still going, he's still continuing. He empowered people. In fact, one of the major achievements, if I shouldn't forget, is the payment of schools, payment of examination fees for all students of Kebbi State. In other words, he is providing free education in Kebbi State from primary to university level.
All right, let's stay on that because I wanted to talk about the education sector, which is his constituency. And the figures before we show that the top 3 schools grappling with the highest percentages of out-of-school children in Nigeria, in the country, are Kebbi, Sokoto, and Yobe. And Yobe has a staggering 67.6% figure. Now, what's it doing? Let's focus on the people-oriented project. What's it doing to ensure that students remain in school? And I must also say that many communities report that schools are too far, in poor condition, or have no teachers. How is this government addressing these barriers to access?
To start with, he employed 2,000 more teachers. That is number one. He rehabilitated 13,000 primary and secondary schools in dilapidation, who has been in dilapidation. He constructed a number of schools. But the most important schools he established are the mega schools. There is one in Zulu, there is one in the capital building, Kebbi, Argungu, another one in Yauli. These schools will provide normal teaching. Normal teaching, I mean, all the necessary subjects being taught in every school will be taught there. Religious subjects will be taught there. And above all, skills acquisitions will be provided there on different skills: carpentry, welding, name them. At the end of the session, at the end of your school, first 3 years, if you want to continue in the secondary school, you continue. If you want to be self-reliant and and establish your own business, the government will allow you and give you funds and then working materials to establish your own. That is how he will want to ensure that there will be no out-of-school children in Kebbi State. And like I told you, he increased the feeding of students in boarding schools and day schools by over 300%. He provided another incentive for the students so that they will stay and learn effectively without going home and coming back. When they come to school, they will be fed. Those in day schools, when those in boarding school will remain there without any problem. And above all, he now approved that all teachers, the retirement age of teachers, I mean only teachers, has been revised, have been reviewed. Instead of 35 years of service, he now increased 5 years to make it 40 years of service. If it's 60 years of age, you now have to spend 65 years before you finally retire. And the idea is these people that are retiring are most talented, are most experienced, are most hardworking. After serving for 35 years, and they are still energetic, they are still knowledgeable, they have their experience. How can you allow them to go home? And do what? Let them continue providing the basic needs of the children in all aspects, in all subjects, so that we will be producing high quality graduates, high quality secondary school leavers in Kebbi State. That is not a small job.
All right.
And this has been acknowledged by the National Union of Teachers. They had their National Executive Council meeting about a month ago here. They went around, they saw what he had done, and they said, we are proud of you. I remember their national president of the NUT, Audu Amba, Comrade Audu Amba, he told the NUT state chairman that were there, 36 plus Abuja, he said, please, when you go back to your states, meet your politicians, regardless of the political party, meet the political leaders, introduce, recommend one of you, or go to the governor, ask him to recommend one of you, so that he will do what Comrade Nasir Idris Awarangondu is doing, has done, and is doing Kebbi State. We are proud of him. That is the national chairman.
Right.
National president, sorry.
Because I wanted to ask about the success rate of these interventions. Again, I remembered you said the governor is still planning on doing them. And this is because I'm sure you know that revitalizing education sector in northern states should be beyond building and rehabilitating school buildings. And what I mean is, for instance, girls are disproportionately out of school due to child marriage and domestic work. And I mean, many say that as much as state governors think it is important to build schools, which again, I mean, mostly an avenue for people, some politicians to steal money, don't you also think it is important to invest in gender-focused interventions? Now, let me quickly ask you these questions. How many girls have been reintegrated into school in the last 12 months?
Well, honestly, I cannot exactly give you the exact figure, but what I will tell you is he has engaged the traditional and religious leaders in the state to advise, to counsel parents on the need to allow their children to remain in the school. The importance of education cannot be overemphasized. Luckily, in Kebbi State, we have very little, the number of people that are educated are reasonable. We are not all that backward in modern education. We are not backward in religious education. All these sectors, we have people that are capable of driving the force to ensure provision of education to our children.
All right, but because of our time, Mr. Idris,
you can find that everywhere.
Right, so because of our time, and in 1 minute, I remember Governor Idris says he wanted Benin Kebbi to reflect the status of a state capital. How far has he gone with that? In 1 minute, please.
He has gone very, very far. In fact, he has gone beyond what was expected. But when he came in 2023, sorry, you cannot differentiate Benin Kebbi from some of the major towns in the state. Whether you are in Zulu, whether you are in Arugungu, you will not say, where is the state capital? They are all the same. But the first thing he did, that is the first thing he did, he now concentrated on the major project he did, the state secretariat, which has been completed 100%, and it can house about 26,000 civil servants. That's the state capital. He now rehabilitated all the roads, expanded them from 2 lanes to 3 lanes each. That is 6 lanes.
All right.
He now
all right, Mr. Idris.
electrified them with solar-powered street lights.
I still have
he
a lot of
provided very beautiful runabouts.
I still have a lot of questions for you, but sadly we're out of time. But I'm sure we'll continue this conversation some other time. Yes. I've been speaking with Abdullah Idris, Sadikin Zuru, Special Advisor on Communication and Strategy to Kebbi State's Governor. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to explain what Comrade Governor, the homegrown governor, has done to the people of Kebbi State.
All right. We wish We wish the governor the best. Thank you so much. And that marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But before we go, let's tell you that the views and reactions of our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Meanwhile, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at 12:30 a.m. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG and at Olajumo Kebbi using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News NG. I am Olajumo Kebbi. Good night, everyone.